This video is counter-argument to the teleological argument for existence of God that most theists provide. And I think this video will demonstrate it pretty well how we humans can perceive order through chaos or randomness. So first of all, what is teleological argument? I won't explain it. Watch the short clip.
The famous watch on the beach analogy of God.
Yeah, the teleological argument.
Yes, that if you're walking along a beach and you see a perfectly functioning Swiss watch, you're not going to go, oh, wow, all of these elements just fell together here on this beach and created this beautiful, perfect watch that's incredibly, you'd be like, there's someone made the watch.
Yeah.
When I deeply imagine a three-dimensional universe made of, energy, but, matter and atoms and dark matter, and there was a big bang, and there's galaxies, and that it just happened, it just existed, it just sprang into existence, and that there are physical laws, and then somehow out of that chemistry became biology, and creatures were created, and there was paramecium, and then there was little amoebas and whatnot, and then they evolved into creatures, and somehow we have a creature and we have a large consciousness, and we're having this conversation over this podcast. When I think of the totality of that, without any kind of greater power or energy, it doesn't make sense to me, not just on a cognitive level. It just doesn't make sense in my heart. It doesn't make sense in my life experience. When I picture all of that with some kind of greater unknowable energy beyond time and space coursing through it, it makes total sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And here is the Google definition. Feel free to research on your own to understand if it's still unclear. Now this counter-argument is given by, or at least I've heard it from him, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Here is a clip, him explaining it.
Line up 1,000 people and give them a coin, and everybody flip the coin. And about half will get tails, half will get heads. If you got tails, sit down. That's 500 left, approximately. Mm-hmm. Have them flip. Half get heads, 250 of you sit down. Now we're left with 250. Do it again. Go from 250 to 125 to 60 to 30 to 15 to 8 to 4 to 2 to 1. Okay? In this experiment. It's not an unthinkable experiment. Mm-hmm. This person who survived this exercise flipped heads 10 consecutive times. Now here's what journalists do. They go up to that person and they say, how do you feel? Well, I knew I had felt that head's energy halfway through, and I was feeling it, and did they ask anyone else if they felt that head's energy? No, they only interviewed that guy. Okay? I'm not done. Right. Wait, so that person says, boy, I was lucky to flip heads 10 consecutive times. Well, essentially every time you do this experiment, somebody's going to flip heads 10 consecutive times. So you want to say, oh, this is a special universe in which that happened? No, because of the nature of the fact that you have 1,000 experiments happening all the time, there's going to be one where somebody flips heads 10 consecutive times. Every time you do this experiment. That does not make it special. Just because somebody flips heads 10 consecutive times every time you do the experiment. So you're in a universe where this weird thing happens at the beginning, and you want to feel all heads energy about it. And I'm saying, in a multiverse, there could be 999 universes where that did not happen. And you're in the one that did, and you want special credit for it. I'm not giving it to you.
Now this video is a simulation of Neil deGrasse Tyson's argument, an experiment to show how chaos can look like order while it really is chaos at the end of the day. This experiment demonstrates a fascinating concept, rather, in probability and survival rates through a simple coin flip mechanism. I'll briefly explain the experiment setup. Let's start with 1,000 participants, each represented by a gray tile below. There are 1,000 of them. Each participant will face a series of coin flips where heads means survival, tails means elimination. Initial state is, as you can see, we have 1,000 gray tiles. Last one is the 1,000th one, each representing participant waiting for their very first coin flip. The probability of getting heads or tails is set to 50-50. So let's begin by clicking the first flip coin button. This will determine the fate of all 1,000 participants in the first round. Notice how the tails have changed color. Green tiles represent survivors, heads. Red tiles represent those eliminated, tails. After the first round, we can see that approximately 50% of the participants survived. This is expected because our chances are 50-50. And here you can see it's a little bit lesser than 50, but it's approximately 50. So there are less survivors than there are people that are eliminated. Now let's click the remove failed flips, which is removes all the red squares, meaning the people that are eliminated. We're removing them from the game, so remove them. Now all that we have left with is only people that got heads in the first round. Let's continue the experiment by clicking flip coins again. The survivors will face another coin flip. The process continues. Each round follows the same pattern. Flip coins for all current survivors. Remove those who got tails. Continue with the remaining survivors. I'll just continue doing that. Remove them. And flip coin again. Remove the remaining. Flip again and remove the remaining. Now we have these many people that are remaining, which is 56 to be precise. Now I want to bring your attention to something interesting. All of these people, the 56 of them, have been receiving heads consistently. They received it 4 times now, all of these people. Yeah. Now, as we're looking at objectively, we can see that how this 1,000 population has reduced to 56 just within the 4th round because of 50-50 chance. But I want you to think about empathetically and see what these people individually, personally, subjectively feeling about all that's happening to them. So let's say P30, the person 30 has got heads 4 times in a row. And when you think about it individually, when you think about it in a personal sense, getting a head 4 times is a very rare occurrence, isn't it? It is. It really is. It's a rare occurrence. But when you consider there are 1,000 people that are doing it, the chance of this happening is possible. It's possible, and it does happen every single time, right? It happens every single time. There is no. It's not that it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. So it's not special in that way. But when you think about it from this person's perspective, all these people's individual subjective experience, all of them feel very special. Yeah. So let's continue, and this feeling of feeling special is going to continue to grow as we move forward, because there will be some people that will continue to survive, because that is the nature of probability. That is the nature when you run this kind of an experiment at scale. When there are so many people involved, there will be some lucky people, quote unquote. It's just the nature of how things work. It's nothing to do with somebody deciding what happens with somebody or someone else. Yeah. Let's continue the flip. Remove again, flip again, remove again, flip again, remove again, flip again, remove, flip. Okay, so this is interesting, right? So at the very end, 3 people were remaining. All of them got tail at the same time, which also can happen. And it also can happen that all of these people could have gotten heads as well, and they would have moved to round 9, right? So probability works in both ways. It could make it not happen. It could make it happen as well. This is a good demonstration for this very particular point. Now, when the round 8 was ended, now we're at round 9, all of them got tails. At the 9th round, though, so at the 8th round, though, when all these people won that, I want you to again think about their personal experience, the subjective experience. This person, 308 or 176, 824, these people have been getting heads 8 times consistently Every single time you toss the coin, you got head. You toss it again, 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 you got head. 8 times. That is very rare, right? When you look at it from a personal point of view, subjective point of view, think about this particular person, 176, person 176. That person got heads 8 times in a row. Think about it from their point of view. They're gonna feel very special, right? But when we see it from objectively, there's nothing special going on here. It is bound to happen. Not specifically 176. It could be someone else. It could be somebody else, right? 176 is not really any special. It's just the nature of the game. That's how it is. Let's run this experiment again. I'm just going to refresh. And flip, remove, flip, remove, flip, remove, flip, remove. Yeah. So usually what happens is we get up to 10 rounds and somebody gets heads for 10 times. That does happen. Right now it didn't, which is also fine. So this is the experiment.